Hey everybody, Nick here, and today we're going to do a little disassembly and maintenance on this little guy right here. This is the CRKT CEO. Alright, looking at this guy, what can we say? Slightly off-center, favoring the clip side. The action is good. Is there any blade play? Yeah, maybe very slightly, but not bad. All right, my goal here, my hope is that I can actually take this apart using just this screw and this screw. I don't know that that's true, but I think it might actually be, because there were no other backspacer elements, unless there were several other screws underneath this backspacer. But I don't find that super likely, given that the backspacer is T-shaped here, so it'll be held into the proper orientation by the scales themselves. Let's go ahead and pop this guy apart. CRKT CEO. I think this was best value buy of the year or something at Blade Show. By the way, interesting enough piece. Okay. This is just taking a little more torque. And my backspacer is... Okay, this whole thing is starting to come apart in my hand. This is a dangerous time in a young man's life, because right now I have a live blade. There we go. I always feel weird when I have to do that, but at the same time, that's sort of a necessary thing. If you realize that everything is coming apart, sometimes it's best to just get your hands out of there when you've got a live blade, and that's why I use a padded surface like this. Okay, what the heck? This is a bearing with a Teflon washer on the outside of it. Maybe that provides increased lateral support? I don't know, but either way, this is held together using some kind of a relatively thick grease, as well as some reasonably thick thread locker, so I actually have high hopes that we're going to be able to do some very good things for this particular pocket knife here, in terms of cleanup, making it just a little bit better and easier. Whoa there, it just disassembled itself rapidly. All right. Let us go ahead and clean this up. Teflon and phosphor bronze. I've only seen, and bearings that is, I've only seen that on one other knife. And unfortunately, because that was a stealth review, I can't disclose which one it was. However, it's an unusual choice. In that case, I suppose I can disclose that the manufacturer did not expect that to be the case, right? When I mentioned that to him and I asked him about it, they said, wait, what? Hold on. Are you kidding me? No, that's not what the factory should have done. But, you know, hey, the joys of stealth review, I suppose. Stealth review, for those of you unfamiliar, is where I do a full review, including disassembly and maintenance, on a knife that is not out yet. On a prototype or something like that, a factory first, and makers ask my views, basically. It's a way for them to get a different perspective. It's a way for them to know what I would complain about ahead of time. And to get, you know, just a little bit of final feedback there. Some makers choose to do it. Some makers do it very regularly, as a matter of fact. But nevertheless, and I enjoy it just because, well, frankly, anything that I can catch and help them out with is a beautiful thing because, well, it's one less flaw in the actual final production knife that everybody else is going to deal with. So it makes the world a better place. I'm paid for the process, but in some ways that's more than anything to prevent people from abusing my time. You know, why buy the cow if you can get the reviews for free? Anyways, so, but yeah, that's neither here nor there. And if you're curious, by the way, about any of the tools I'm using in my disassembly, I can, by the way, that's an ugly, ugly statement. But anyways, if you're curious about any of the tools I'm using for my disassemblies, go ahead and check out nickshabazz.com/tools, where you will see a link to a video that talks about each and every tool that I use, and how and why and where to get it. Hopefully it makes things easier and answers all of your questions and more. Okay, back at the ranch. What we're seeing here are these the Teflon ringed bearings. Let's go ahead and clean off the blade here. This is put together with some very thick grease, and so I think we'll do a lot better by the time we're done with this. There were no lock stick issues or anything, so that's not a problem. We have cleaned off both of the liners, so that's good. Are we really ready to go? We are ready to go. Now here's the question. What the heck is this? This is the pivot collar. This is a pivot collar, 100%. That goes right there. Okay, good. Other way. But anyways, okay, that's fine. Let's go ahead and start the reassembling. Come on now. There we go. Beautiful. And I'm going to go ahead and use 10 weight net oil here. I'll favor the bearings. I might made a different choice if it was just Teflon. But in this case, I will appeal to its better nature. Why would you put Teflon on the outside of bearings? I am assuming it's just for additional lateral support for the blade. That would make, well, to the extent that any of this makes any damn sense, that would make sense. So I'll go ahead and put that there. Now I will go ahead and lubricate the detent ball, which is steel, as well as the detent ball hole, which is a hole, and the blade itself, a little bit there. Alrighty. And now the trick is going to be keeping those keeping that Teflon in position during this process. Okay. If anything's going to screw me over, it's going to be that Teflon washer on that side. There's no other way to rebuild this knife, I don't think. And the reason I say that is just because that Teflon could get out of alignment, and that could cause me troubles, but, you know, hopefully we'll be okay. And let's put this other surround here. There's a chance. Oh, damn it, that's why. I just realized, I looked and I saw that I've got these guys in there. So those are maybe spaces, maybe something else. Either way, I need to get those underneath the bearing. Come on. Okay. Getting this off of here. Oh no, that worked out okay. So why are there spaces here? They're very thin. They've already started cupping a little bit, which is not great. But again, this is a very inexpensive knife. Why are there spaces there? Maybe just the tolerances weren't quite right on this one, so they put in the spaces. Or it might be lifting, actually that might be it. It could be lifting this bearing up a little bit such that it engages with the edges of the Teflon. I wouldn't be shocked if that were the case. Alright, let's put this on, and again I'm checking for the cupping and facing the... By cupping I mean that the washer should be flat, but it kind of starts to cup because the bearings compress the center area. That's the side that needs to go down towards the pivot. Alrighty. There is that. Now we go ahead and we put this little guy onto, or well, into, I suppose, this hole. There we go. Oh, you little bastard. This is quite the center stack here. A little pocket knife hamburger. What I'm going to go ahead and do here is just focus on getting everything put back together on the pivot side, and then figure that the back side I can get to take care of itself. I can work with that post hoc, you know. A little bit of fuzz out of there. Okay. Next step. Pivot screw. Lock tight. Pivot collar. Oh, you bastard. Come here. Ah. Okay. Now this gives me another dimension of security to manipulate this guy with. Okay, back off. Stop rolling. Unfortunately, the clip is installed on the other side, which means I'm working on a topsy-freaking-turvy table here. And my driver being magnetized is just helping every bit of this, certainly. And we've just jettisoned the liner. Oh, boy. Come on. There we go. Okay, one more time. I put this here. I set this down. Now, I rotate this. There we go. We are engaged, finally. That's what my wife said. We were together a long time before we were engaged. Anyways, I digress. Beautiful. Now I've tightened that up a little bit. Next step here, this is all out of whack, but is to install the back sprue. Oh, damn it. Hashtag not a brilliant man. The real question then becomes, can I pop out this other side here? Is that screwed in separately? Yeah, cool. Oh, cool. Okay, I can get that in. I can lift this apart just enough here. I think. Yeah, okay. To get that in. Now what I'm going to do, I believe this is D-shaped, and it's, there we go. Yep, so I just had to rotate that into proper positioning. By the way, which explains why everything was, why there was an oblong groove cut there rather than a circular hole. Nice, well done. Where is my last screw? There it is. Alrighty. There is a bunch of thread locker of a variety of colorations on here. I'll just go ahead and add a little bit more on top. It's like the cherry on top of a thread locker sundae. Doing this disassembly before work, so I can't say that it's been a long day, but mentally I think it's always been a long day. So that's the situation. Okay, I need to tighten the pivot a little bit more. The reason I know that is that oh, actually, no, I need to loosen it up a little bit. See, if I loosen this, you're going to see the blade traveling back and forth in there. If you have too much tension, generally speaking, the centering will favor the, if you have too much tightness, that is, the centering favors the lock bar side. If you have too much looseness, the centering favors the other side. So let's see, now that we've got it centered, where are we at? No play. Very smooth action. Unlocking it's still a pain in the neck, but we'll get there. Yeah, we're good to go. Nice. Very nice. So, there you go. CRKT CEO all set there. Hope this has been interesting to you, and have yourselves just an absolutely wonderful rest of your day. Bye now.